1619. The first recorded Africans arrive as slaves. 1861. Slave revolt during the Civil War. 1863. The Emancipation Proclamation goes into effect, freeing slaves. 1956. Blacks boycott businesses and buses to start work toward change. 1964. Civil Rights Act is passed, giving every American citizen all rights, no matter their race, skin, or ethnicity. 2020. Protests begin over the murder of a young black man named George Floyd, who is murdered by a police officer. And the protests rise again. Here we are, still dealing with racism in 2020. It's sad, honestly. It's sad and it's disappointing. Because I thought we were past this, honestly. While I knew there was still racism, I knew there were still assumptions, I thought we were past stuff like murdering a black person when you're a police officer. I honestly thought we were, and I wanted to believe that we were. Obviously that belief was misguided. I didn't want to make this video, being entirely honest. Well, it's not that I didn't want to make this video. It's more so I wasn't sure if I should make this video. Because there's nothing I can say that other people haven't already said. And I don't even have much of a following to be able to affect people. I mean, it's 41 people, 41 awesome people. But still, just 41 people compared to the millions other YouTubers have. But then my girlfriend reminded me. She reminded me that it's more important to have another voice out there of someone who cares, rather than necessarily just making statements. And so, I made the video. I decided to make this video that you're watching. And originally I had a giant script and all this crap for it. But I think this is the purest way to do it. And this is the best way to do it. Because it lets you lets you see who I really am and how I'm actually reacting to this. There's not going to be any jump cuts, not going to be any craziness, no jokes, just this. And I'm going to start off by saying, or I guess continue by saying, I want people to have rights. I believe that if you are a living being, just a living being, and you are going about your life, and you're not hurting anybody, you should be allowed to do what you want. As long as you're not hurting anybody, or breaking the law, you should be allowed to go ahead and live your life the way you want to live your life. And I've had a lot of experience around, just a lot of people I know are black. My girlfriend's black for the first part, and her whole most of her family. I work with a couple of black people. As people, not so awesome, but whatever. I have quite a few family members who are black. I like to think I do. Last time I checked I did. Hopefully I didn't die. Anyway, and my dad, while not being technically black, and not being black at all, he is Native American. And so, in some ways, not in all ways, and I know it's different, but still ties back into that. And it's just, it's dumb, honestly, that two things are dumb. First off, just the fact that it's still happening is dumb. We're in 2020. We're in the middle of a coronavirus pandemic. We shouldn't or people shouldn't have to feel the need to go out and protest. People shouldn't need or feel the need to make videos like this. Videos where they have to say, this is fricked up. We shouldn't. And yet it's happening. That's the sad thing. It's happening. The really sad thing, actually. And I don't know why. Like, I just can't comprehend the mindset of why you would go out and kill someone. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I've had those thoughts, just like any other person has, where I'm like, wow, that person's really annoying. It would really benefit if I would just go over and be like, and I just shanked him a little bit. And not in a serial killer type way, but just in the, this person's annoying, I wish they would just go away type of way. But just, I can't justify actually doing it. I can't justify going out and killing someone over anything, even if it's race. Like, honestly, I think the death sentence is the most useless sentence that you can have in terms of being punished. It sounds like the ultimate punishment. Oh, you die, but they're not learning anything from that. They're not being punished for anything. They're getting a release. They're going to the afterlife. They aren't getting anything from that, and no one else is either. Now, and just, death is pointless. Like, aside from just the dying at the end of your life, death is pointless, no matter what causes it. And it's especially pointless when something like race causes it. The other thing I think is dumb, the second thing, is the riot aspect. Not the protest. I agree with the protest. And we all have the right to peacefully protest. I disagree with the burning down of buildings. I disagree with filling water bottles up with gas, lighting it on fire, and chucking them into cars. I disagree with that. And honestly, I think most people do. Like, most rational people do. And I get why. It's angering. We feel angered that something like this is still happening. I get it. But nothing comes from showing your anger. Nothing. You go in all angry, people are just gonna not listen to you because they're like, okay, that person's angry, they're not in a calm state of mind, they're not thinking rationally, they're just thinking they're angry. And it's like, blowing up the world does nothing for anybody. If you blow up the world, you can't fix the issues, you're just killing everybody. And then there's the things they're burning up too. Because let's be realistic here. A police station, I get that. I understand that. Because police are the root of the problem right now. So, burning down a police station, fine. You're angry at the police, you want to burn down the place where they work. Still don't agree with it, but fine. I can understand it. I can get behind it in terms of what you're thinking. What I can't get behind are burning down shoe stores, jewelry stores, banks, and all the other things people have been burning down. Why? Why? What statement does burning down a jewelry store or shoe store, what statement does that make? Burning down a police station makes a statement. It makes a statement of, we are sick and tired of the police. That is the one good thing about it. It shows that you are sick and tired of it. But burning down all the other things, burning down a Kmart, burning down, like you already said, a shoe store, jewelry store, bank. Burning down those things doesn't make any statements. It just says, oh look, we're burning down everything we can because we can. Because we're angry. And that doesn't reflect well upon the individuals doing it. And it just makes the entirety of the movement look bad. It makes it look like the protest just wants to burn everything to the ground. When that's not what the protest wants. The protest wants equality. They just want to be able to walk down the street and be like, hey, this is a good day, I'm having a great life, without having to fear that mall cop over there is gonna come and kneel on their throat for 9 minutes. They don't want to deal with that. And honestly, no one should have to deal with that. And yet we're forcing people to deal with it. And that's the issue. That's why people are angry. And yeah. It's just Kristallnacht. The thing Hitler did to the Jewish homes. That's all you're doing. You're just setting fire to a bunch of crap for the purpose of you're angry. It doesn't do anything. All it does is make it look bad. So I support the movement in terms of the protest. I don't support burning things down. Stop it. Stop burning down buildings. But I feel like there's another thing to remember here too. There is another thing to remember, which is that it's not a legal issue. The reason why I say that is because I hear it mixed up. People are of course using the hashtag of Black Lives Matter, but they're also equating it to things like, oh, we deserve rights, we deserve rights, we deserve rights, we deserve rights, we deserve rights. You do. We agree with that. You do deserve rights. But as I said in the intro thing I did for this video, you have your rights. You have all the rights of anyone else. The Civil Rights Act made everyone equal in terms of the rights they receive. The current issue is with our legal system. More importantly, it has to do with the minds of people. Because see, when you kill someone, anyone kills someone, anyone kills anyone, it then goes to a court case where where a judge hears the information from both sides and has to determine whether that person actually did the killing or if it's just pointed fingers. And normally, what it's supposed to be is a neutral, impartial, third-party judge. What does that mean? It means that it's someone who doesn't have a stance. It's someone who isn't racist and is going to let them go because it's a black person. It's supposed to be someone who can just look at it objectively and just look at, did this person kill this person? Did person A kill person B? And that's what they have to look at. Or what they're supposed to be looking at. Just the facts of, did they do the thing? And the problem is, we're having people appointing judges, because this is how they get away with it, specifically. Cops are getting away with it because judges are appointed that don't give a crap. They're appointing judges who are on their side. Judges are being appointed that want the murderers to get away with murder because it's a black person. Because it makes their own little statement. And that's the issue. And really, if you want to solve the issue in its entirety, you would just change the minds of people to not kill. And police officers should not kill. Police officers are here to protect people. It's supposed to keep them alive. They should not be killing. In fact, the fact that police have guns, or weapons at all, I'm on the fence about. Honestly. Because I've already established I don't like death, and death is just pointless no matter what. And I mean, I get it. If a bank robber or the bad guys have a gun, you want the person that's supposed to be protecting you to be better armed than the person trying to hurt you. But really, they already call the SWAT team or Special Forces teams there anyway. The typical cop out on a typical patrol does not need to carry a gun. And while yes, we have a right to bear arms in this society, we do. It's our, I believe, First Amendment right. Might be Second Amendment, I don't know. Correct me if I'm wrong, please. But we have the right to carry a firearm. We don't have a right to murder. That firearm is for our own protection. And I just think cops shouldn't have a firearm. If they are doing the job of going on a patrol, like they're not the cops on standby for a serious situation, they're just the typical rookie cop going out on patrol, they do not need a gun. They do not need any weapons. The most they need is their taser. Is their taser, a notepad, their walkie-talkie, and a pen, obviously for the notepad. That's all they need. The taser in case a really, really, really bad situation is going down, and they need to solve it pretty fast. The walkie-talkie so they can communicate if something serious does happen that requires lethal force, which, why would it, but still, if it does. And lastly, they need a notepad so they can write out tickets. So they can write what's happening at a given point. They don't need a handgun. They don't need a bat. And people are going to come and argue with me that, well, this officer didn't kill them with his gun. They killed him by kneeling on his neck. And that is the other thing, is that just points me even more toward there is no solution. Because you can have someone who, on paper, looks like the perfect candidate for a police officer. Someone who seems to care for people, someone who seems to want to actually help, but secretly the entire time they've also made posts and other things, or have just had the thought of, you know, black people should die. And that's the issue. That people have those thoughts and are able to coax their way into the police force. Because it's not all cops. It's not that, like, when a cop is being sworn into duty, they have to say, yes, I promise I will kill all black people that I see on my duty. No, they're not saying that. They're not promising that. It is not the job of a police officer to go and be executioner to all the black people. It is not. It's just not. And there's an image that I saw on Facebook that I think points it out especially well. Not all black, that just is a lady holding up a cardboard sign that says, not all black people are violent, not all white people are racist, not all, what was it? Oh yeah, not all police are killers, and not all, and that just ignorance is dumb. That ignorance just shouldn't be allowed. And that's the thing here. It's not the issue of every single police officer is having a shootout against black people. It's that there's a couple officers over there, like the two standing over there, that just have a grudge against black people for whatever stupid reason. And and in this case, the police officer stepped down and then was charged. And I'm sure if he would have tried to keep his job, he would have been fired. In fact, for all we know, he probably was fired, and just to the public they said he stepped down because that way they don't have to say they've hired someone over a race issue. And I think that about wraps up what I wanted to say. Except for one thing, that if we truly wanted to change, at least in terms of the rulings of are they guilty, are they not, we really just need to slot a robot in there. We need to shove in a robot that can just look at things objectively and be like, okay, so according to this evidence, is it likely that they killed them? If it is, cool. They're sentenced to whatever the typical sentence for killing someone is, for first-degree murder. And first-degree, second-degree, I don't know terms. But, yeah, that's what we need. We need a robot slotted in there. They're not going to slot a robot in there, because there are 51,200 judges just working as judges in the U.S. They are not going to fire 51,200 people just to slot in AI, even if it's the better alternative. They're not going to kick that many people out of jobs, especially now that we've had the coronavirus that has already kicked 3 million people out of jobs already. They're just not going to do it. And honestly, that's the resulting of my thoughts. That's everything I have to say about it. And other than the fact of, again, keep protesting. Let's try and see if we can at least change the legal system into getting an AI in there, so we aren't having murderers released as innocent. Let's get an AI in there. Other than that, there's nothing to protest against. We all have the same rights, under the law at least. Like, under the Constitution, we should all have the same rights, and we do. It's just that police are just being dicks. And, yeah. And this is probably a lot of rambling. But I just... my stomach is showing. But this is just probably a lot of rambling. But I figured it was more genuine and better than showing off me reading the 3-page script that I had. Our world is fucked. Our world is just completely fucked.